everybody. Welcome to another segment of the Bold Lounge. I'm Ray Ramos, and it's a blessing to come and sit before you today. I know in my last video, I was kind of came from a different side, a different perspective. I was, really touched by things that are going on. But today, I want to share with you the purpose that the Lord put on my heart to speak to men, both young and old, to speak to people in general. And the title of this message today is "The King Has One More Move." And I got this from a video I saw where there was a chess game being played. On one side of the chessboard was Satan, and on the other side of the chessboard was God. In Proverbs 19:21, it says, "There are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, it is the Lord's counsel that prevails." And what we're talking about is a very powerful truth. The king always has one more move. And this means when things look finished, when things look hopeless, God is often just setting the board. If you ever played chess before, I'm not very good at it, but I've watched movies and I watch people play chess, and it's a serious mind game. And it's a game of ebbs and flows. And someone always thinks that they got the ultimate move to get to the king and kill the king, but the king always has another defensive mechanism. And before they know it, they've been ensnared in a trap. And they figured out that what they thought they saw, they didn't. And ultimately, became their loss, them losing the game. So when the board looks lost, have you ever been in a situation where it felt like the game was over? Like I said, you played this and it's like, man, it looks like I'm in a very tough spot. It looks like I'm not going to get out of it. What made it feel final? Was it fear, failure, finances, health, relationships? Looking back, do you see God doing something you didn't recognize at the time? Think about that. Let that resonate. When was the last time you looked lost and you just say, "Where's God?" It comes down to God's timing versus our panic. If you read Proverbs 16:9 aloud, it says, "In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." So why is it hard for men or anybody to wait on God's timing? What does impatience usually cause us to do? I know I've been there. Many times I've not waited on God's timing. I've been impatient and it's never worked out good. It's never worked out in my favor yet. So are you trying to force a move instead of just trusting God, trusting God's next move? You see, when God allows the lions, when you look at it, and I thought about that, I was looking at Daniel 6. And we all know the story of Daniel. He ended up in king put him in the lion's den. Why do you think God allowed Daniel to be placed in the lion's den instead of just stopping it altogether? Because he could have. What lion's den are you currently in or currently facing? What would trusting God look like inside the den, not just after the deliverance? You see, there was another scenario, the cross. The cross looked final. What did the resurrection change? And why did the resurrection change everything? It changed everything because it looked final, but God. Jesus rose in 3 days. They thought he was dead. They thought he was finished. King had another move. How does Jesus rising from the dead redefine how we see defeat? It shows us that we serve a good God. It shows us that no matter where we are, we always have the opportunity to rise up and conquer it because we got God on our side. He's always got another move. So the question becomes, what dead situation in your life do you need to surrender back to God? Let that marinate. Let that set in. See, because when we serve God, when we serve the one and true King, we playing chess, not checkers. There's a big difference. What's the difference between reacting emotionally and trusting strategically? Because we're people of emotion. We see things and oh man, we get that woe is me attitude. But if we flipped it and said, but there's a strategy, as long as I go to the king, as long as I go to the king of the strategy, I can get through it. I can get through everything, not just some things, everything. How might God be using a delay loss or struggle as part of a bigger plan. See, when God pulls you through, then that means he pulled you through a test so you could be a testimony, so that people could see how you overcame and went through. We've all been there. I've been through many struggles and I still struggle. I'm going through one right now, but I've given it to God because he says he will never leave me nor forsake me. His rod and his staff comforts me. So yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear. We all have an appointed expiration date. We don't know what it is. If he revealed it to us emotionally, we couldn't handle it. I have more days behind me than in front of me. But I know with the days that are in front of me, I know strategically where I'm going because I choose to follow the king. Always has another move. You see, God may allow certain moves of the enemy, but only because he already sees an end of the game. His son came and conquered death. He tore the veil so that we could have direct access to the king to learn how to move on the chessboard of life. We only need to stop playing checkers and play chess. Develop that spiritual strategy. So this week, this month, this year, when doubt creeps in, remind yourself the king has one more. Write it down, pray it, stand on it. The king always has one more move. And when the enemy always thought he had God in the corner, God allowed certain things to happen because he strategically had another move. So as we see all of the craziness that's going on around us, he's allowed ICE. He's allowed this current administration. He's allowed the judges that are supposed to balance the scales make unwise decisions. He's allowed the hate, bigotry, the separation. He's allowed all of that. What we need to be looking to is what is God's ultimate move? Because biblically, we've always seen it that he allowed Satan to make certain moves. He allowed the evil one to make certain moves because he always knew the outcome, because he's the author and finisher of our faith. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and the end. He is the head and not the tail. And that is what the enemy forgets, who he's dealing with. He's dealing with the king, and the king always has another move.